are live. Has anyone joined the live? Mommy duties call. So hmm. Hi, someone has joined the live. Hi. How do I know who joined the live now? To be honest, I'm not even sure. Hi, I want to see if anyone is gonna join the live again. Ooh, we have 4 people. Okay, so guys, how are you guys doing? What's happening? I know that I said I wanted to talk about like money, marriage, who pays for what, and all that good stuff. But before we like get chatting on that, I would love to see like what are your what I'd love to hear what are your own thoughts about money and marriage, like who pays for what, like do you think that in a marriage it should be like 50-50? Do you think that the man should pay the bulk of the bills, or do you think the man should pay everything? So I'm gonna tell you guys my own like experience and what works for me and my family. And obviously it's different experiences for different people because it's not a one size fits all. So for me and my husband, you guys may or may not know this, but we've been together since I was about 19 and now I'm 30. This boy wants to cry. Now I'm 30. So obviously we've been together for over 10 years now. But we've been married for 5 years, even though we've been together for 10 years. We've been married for 5 years. And because we've been together for so long, we obviously have been through like different eras and different phases of our lives. So at some point, my husband obviously was earning more money than me just based off of the fact that he finished university before I did and started working before I did, so he started making some money before me. And at some point also, I've also had times where I've made more money than him. And in that type of situation, and that this is practically make what leads me to beg the question really, because I've been through different phases where I have earned more money than my husband, or my husband has earned more money than me. And the whole social media thing, everyone wants to say, oh, my husband must earn this and that amount of money, and if my husband cannot pay all the bills in our household, then I'm not interested in that marriage. Which is fine, because to every malam with his kettle, do you understand what I mean? But like, if you had a situation where for whatever reason your husband wasn't earning as much as he used to earn before, then what? So let's assume that he was earning 500,000 naira before, and you guys were living off his 500,000 naira, but then he lost his job, or he has fallen ill, he's now sick, and he cannot earn 500,000 naira anymore. Then what? Do you then say we are going to live off his savings, or do you then say I'm no longer interested just in case he doesn't have any savings? Or do you then say I'm gonna step up and pay the bills at this point? That's what I really want to know. I'm genuinely interested, because I know that for religious reasons, like I have some Muslim friends, and my Muslim colleagues, especially the guy friends, they tell me that I think in Islam, and I'm not sure, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that in Islam, women are not supposed to pay any bills at all. So my Muslim friends, even here in England, they would work if it means them working every single day of the month to meet up with all their bills, then that's what they would do. They will work 30 days a month if they have to work 30 days a month to meet up with their bills, because religiously or Islamically, women are not supposed to contribute like financially to the house. So that is another perspective. But for me and the way we do things in our house, oh, I can see a comment from Tolu. The Tolu, hello, yes, in Islam, women are not supposed to pay anything. Fine. So, Tolu, this question now is for you, since I am assuming that you're probably Muslim. But if women are not supposed to pay anything in Islam, and let's say your husband is earning now 500,000 naira, but for whatever reason, your husband has now lost his job, what do you then do in that situation? Do you step up for the time being, bearing in mind that you don't really know how long that time being is going to be? It could be a month, it could be 6 months, it could be a year, it could be 10 years. You don't really know. What are you going to do in that point of view, especially Islamically speaking? Since it's like a religious thing, how does that then work out in Islam if women are not like supposed to pay anything? I'm really looking forward to reading your response, but I'm just gonna go on with what I was saying before, and then I'll come back to your response. But for me personally, what I do, and I don't know if it's just me or if it's like, because all the women around me that I know and I've seen and I've emulated and I've grown up with, all the women around me tend to combine finances. Like the lines become very blurry in with regards to finances in marriage. So it's not then, because again, this is something else that I've discovered that my white colleagues do. My white colleagues, for example, would split everything 50-50. And 50-50 means, it can mean two things. So it can mean that if their bills are, for example, £1,000 a month, that's their recurrent expenditure, £1,000 a month, they may then decide to split it 50-50 to the point that everybody, regardless of how much they're earning, brings £500 every single month. They may decide to do that. What is it, Tonisco? Why are you crying? It's okay. It's okay. What is it? Why is Tonisco crying? You don't want me to do my live today. See, my handsome Bobo is crying. No. My handsome Bobo wants to say hello to you guys. Tonisco, my handsome Bobo. Say hello. Hello. How are you? You guys, I don't know if you guys were in my life the other time, or maybe it might not have been my life, but I mentioned that Tony had like some rashes on his skin, and they are all cleared now. He's how old? He is 10 weeks old now, and he's getting really chunky. Tony is good. Do you want to be a part of the life? Is that why you were crying? Is that why you were crying? Anyways, so Tolu says, but if something comes up, like he said, I have to step up willingly. I've had situations in my marriage engagement stage I had to step up and pay bills. Fine, that's lovely to know. Because I've always been curious about that situation. Like, there's a lady on YouTube here, Nelo Okeke. She's pretty popular. You guys may know her, you may not know her. But I know that her take, and I don't know if it's an Igbo thing, but her take specifically is that the man pays for everything and her money is for enjoyment. Like, her money is for herself and to flex and all of that. So that's why I asked the question about like if something were to happen, then what happens? You understand? But I don't know. She has never actually spoken on if something were to happen, what she would do if something were to happen. She has never actually spoken on that. But like I was saying, the white guys that I'm friends with, I know that some of them split their bills 50-50 across board. So if their bills are £1,000, and obviously 50% of £1,000 is 500 pounds, they would then say partner A pays £500 regardless of what partner A is earning, and partner B pays £500 regardless of what partner B is earning. So even if I'm as a man earning £4,000 a month and my wife or my partner is earning £1,000 a month, and we both have a combined expenditure of £1,000 a month, I'm going to drop 500 from my £4,000, and my partner is going to also drop 500 from her £1,000, which then poses a bit of an issue, because for you, £500 out of £4,000 is not anything. But for me, £500 from £1,000 is a lot of money. So that is one way that some people do the 50-50 thing. Another way that some people do the 50-50 thing is they would say you bring we're going to contribute per, how do they say it, per what you earn. So if you are earning £4,000 and the other person is earning £1,000, then the person that's earning £4,000 may then decide to drop £900, and you earning £1,000 would then decide to drop £100. So then it becomes a little bit of a more balanced thing, because I don't feel like I'm spending all my money, or I don't feel like I'm spending the bulk of my income, and you also don't feel like it's spending the bulk of your income, because let's be honest, £900 inside £4,000 is not a lot of money, and £100 inside £1,000 is also not that significant with regards to bills. So that's the way. But then another school of thought, which is what I do and which is what I've always done ever since I've known myself and ever since my husband and I have been together, what we do is we do more of a 100-100 thing. So for example, if I'm earning £4,000 and my husband is earning £4,000 and our bills are £3,000, what we then do is pull both of them together. So my £400 and my £4,000 and my husband's £4,000 would then be £8,000, and then we will then decide that if our bills are £2,000, we're going to now allocate the £8,000 for things that need to be done in the house, and we will then spend from a common, quote unquote, common purse. So if our rent is £2,000 and we want to save £1,000, we'll just do like a budget and allocate different things to different. We'll allocate like money to different things. So like our rent is £2,000, our savings is £1,000, our food and electricity is another £1,000. We'll just do that, and after paying all the bills, then we'll now say, okay, what we have left is £200, and then you can have if for your miscellaneous expenditure that you don't feel like you don't want to be like, I don't know, you can have £100 for that, you can have £100 for that, and that works for us, and that's what we've always done, which makes it a bit easier, because in times when, for example, I'm not earning a lot of money, like right now that I'm on maternity leave, I don't feel so pressured to do beyond myself. Do you understand what I mean? Because my maternity pay, and I've spoken about what maternity pay looks like in the United Kingdom before, but maternity pay in the UK, at least in the NHS, is only great for 2 months, and then it declines like that. So for the first 2 months you get your full pay, and after 2 months, for the next 4 months you get half pay plus maternity allowance, and then for the next 3 months you get only maternity allowance, which is about £700 a month. So in the situation where I'm bringing my 100% and my husband is bringing his 100%, if my 100% is let's say my 100% used to be £2,000 before, but now that I'm on maternity leave, my 100% is £1,000. I don't feel pressured to pay. I don't feel like, if it was like the splitting of the bills thing, like how I spoke about how the whites, some of my white friends do it, that they split their bills right in half, and obviously if the rent is £2,000, I have to now look for £1,000 from God knows where to then pay. Like at this point now, if we were to split our bills half, let's say our bills were £5,000 and my contribution was £2,500. My husband's contribution is £2,500. And now that I'm on maternity leave, I am not earning up to £2,500. Let's say I'm now earning £1,500. How am I going to get the deficit of that £1,000 to then complete paying my bills? Do you understand what I mean? Which is why our own method is that we just pull everything together and then manage the entire finances as a unit. So now that I'm not earning £1,000 because I'm on maternity leave, for example, and my husband is still earning £4,000, for example, because he's still working full time, and our bills are £2,000, we know that what we now have is £5,000 instead of the £8,000 that we used to have. And that means that we just generally have to cut down on things that are not necessary, quote and unquote, so that we can manage the now £5,000 that we have instead of the £8,000 that we have. For me, that works fine. I'm not mad at it. Just how I mean, because it helps you to cover your partner's nakedness if their nakedness is outside. Like, nobody needs to know that this is what is happening. Do you understand what I mean? It helps to cover your partner's nakedness, basically. But I was speaking to one of my colleagues the other day. He is an Igbo guy. He's my friend. He's an Igbo guy. And he told me that, first of all, he does not see his wife as a partner, and he will never refer to his wife as his partner. His wife is his wife, and that's that on that. And that he could never imagine his wife paying any single bill in his household, because he's the man of the family and it is his responsibility to pay all the bills. But then in my mind, I'm like, okay, I respect what you're saying, but let's now say that you are earning £2,000, or you're earning £4,000, for example. Let's say you're earning £4,000 and all our bills are £3,500, but I'm earning £2,000. That means that you at the end of the month, all you have left is £500. Is that what that means? And I have my £2,000 to flenjo and do whatever I want to do, but all you have is £500. Is that what that means? And also, if what we are spending from is only your £4,000, that also limits what we can basically afford in terms of like affordability, because our affordability is restricted to your £4,000. So if I wanted to live in a nice house and my nice house was £2,000 a month, but obviously you're only earning £3,000, it doesn't make any sense for you to spend £2,000 to rent a house when you've still got other bills to pay. Would I then deprive myself of living in a nice house because I don't want to spend my money? Is that how it works? Would I then say I'm happy to live in a £700 house because that's what my husband can afford, even though the house isn't beautiful, or even though the house isn't up to my standard? But I mean, he's a man and that's what he can afford. So if it's £700 house he can afford, then I'll squeeze myself into that £700, versus me bringing my resources to add to yours so that we can have a nicer life. Like if I bring my own £3,000 plus your £3,000, then it becomes £6,000. So technically what we have to live off of is £6,000 instead of living off of your £3,000. So then if I like a £2,000 house, I can then live in my £2,000 house, because now we're spending £6,000 instead of spending £3,000. I don't know if that makes sense to you, Sha. But that is definitely something that I've thought about. I'm just going to read some comments now. Okay, so Tolu says, hi, baby Tony. Hi. Tony, say hello. Say hello. Tony is cool. Woo. Hello. Ihuoma Irene, hello, watching from London. Hi, Ihuoma. Thank you for tuning in today. Shaliwa's face, you look beautiful. Dr. and the baby boy too. Stop. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Then he has to handle the rest of the bills, groceries, and other miscellaneous. Fine. No, that's hard-earned money, doctor. Yes, contributing per what you earn sounds fair too. It all boils down to understanding. Once you understand each other and there are no issues arising from how you split your bills, then that's fine. On the other hand, a man should be more sensible to know this. 100%. 100%. Because I remember one of my friends telling me at some point that her reservation to splitting bills like evenly with her partner comes from the fact that she believes that when you give men a kilometer, how do they say it? When you give men a mile, they will take 10,000 miles. And she doesn't want to start something that will then turn into an issue. So, for example, like splitting or contributing to bills now, for example, may make her partner a bit more lackadaisical, and that's not something that she wants to deal with. She doesn't want to deal with a lackadaisical partner. If her partner wants a nice house, then he should up his game to be able to afford that nice house by himself. Do you understand what I mean? So that was her own school of thought, and that's why she said that she's not open to the idea of splitting or even contributing to the bills, except like push comes to shove. She doesn't want to contribute to the bills at all. But I mean, that's something. For me, my husband allocates my bills to me based on what I earn, so it's well balanced, and I still get to save from my earnings and buy stuff for myself. This way, we don't have issues with bills. I feel like that's a very practical way to deal with the situation. So if you're not earning a lot of money, for example, it would be unkind for you to pay a lot of money towards rent because you simply can't afford it. So it might be nicer to handle things like electricity and council tax, or bills that are a bit smaller, and that way at the end of the day everybody can save, everybody can invest, and everybody can buy what they want to buy. That's just my school of thought. No, I've watched Dirty Cars to earn £4,000, so I can't throw it away like I can't throw it like, oh, it doesn't affect me. I can't do. Okay, so with regards to like washing dirty cars to earn the money, I hear that's valid. And honestly, like putting your funds together is all fun and games only if you have a responsible partner. If your partner is like very frivolous with spending and they're buying all the designer items in the world, and is at that point that they want to go and do vacation in Maldives, meanwhile you know that you washed dirty cars to earn that money, then that might be less than ideal. So at the end of the day, like Ihoma says, I think it just boils back down to understanding, like, who is your partner? How is your partner with money? Are they the type of people that would go and do giveaway with your money? Are they the type of people that want to flanger with your money, like on social media, because they want people to think that they've arrived? Do you understand what I mean? Obviously, if you have that type of partner, then splitting bills with your partner would be less than ideal, because it just means that you'll be setting yourself up for a situation that you're not going to like. Do you understand what I mean? You're not going to like it. Meanwhile, as we're here, please, 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 see how many pleases I'm saying. Please kindly like this video. Please like the video. It really does help the channel do better, because the video is able to reach like a wider audience if you like the video. So I would be really, really happy if you could just smash that thumbs up button to like the video, and that would help the channel do better. One thing that I've noticed from my YouTube analytics is that I am not getting as many return viewers, and I'm just getting like many new viewers. So I'm really trying to work on my audience retention, which is why I'm asking you to please like the video, because when the people who tune in to like the video, who tune in to watch the video, actually like the video, then it helps to push the video to more people who are subscribed and who have not seen my video for a while, and it tells them that, okay, you might like this video since people who are watching it like it. Just that what I mean. But if you don't like the videos, then it doesn't send any positive signals back to the algorithm. So I really appreciate you if you could please like it. This top that I'm wearing is an Adire top. It was given to me by one of my followers on Instagram. She makes boo-boos. I've shouted her out before on this on my channel, and on even on my community tab. Her Instagram page is called Zoe in Me Fashion. Please check her out. She gifted me the boo-boo and this top when I gave birth to Tony, so it was like a congratulations on giving birth type of gift. And it was really, it's really lovely. I'm really grateful because the boo-boo is very, very beautiful. The quality of that boo-boo is amazing, and even this is very unique, especially being Adire and being in abroad. You know, you rep African and you rep it proudly. So please, if you guys want, please check her out. She's very good. She's very efficient. She attends to you and she prioritizes customer satisfaction. She's on Instagram and her page is called Zoe in Me, Zoe. That's the spelling of Zoe. Zoe in Me Fashion. So yeah, back to our gist. I remember one time I was on Twitter, and this was last year. I'm going to tell you a very brief story about the Twitter thing because it was on a podcast that year. So on this podcast, there was a girl and a boy. Now the girl and the boy got married. The girl is from a wealthy family. The boy is from a normal family. But then they got married, and as part of the wedding gift, the girl's family gave her a brand new car for her and her husband to use. And I might be paraphrasing here or I might be mixing things up. I'm not exactly sure, but I'm just going to say the story the way I can remember it, which may or may not be 100% accurate. So if you know the accurate story, you can you can say if you know the accurate story. But what I'm saying is the way my brain is telling me at the moment, which may or may not be 100% accurate. Anyways, the lady is from a rich family, and for her wedding gift, her father gives her and her husband her and her husband a brand new car, and also gives her 10 million naira. Now, she says that her and her partner, they're very, very open with each other. You know, they talk about everything. He even knows the password to her mobile banking app and everything. It's not a big deal. He knows the password to her mobile banking app. He knows the password to her phone. They're very open with themselves, like in that sense. So now they're married. They have the car that the girl's family gave them to use, and now they're looking for a nice enough house that they want to live in. Obviously, they're living in Lagos, and you know how prices of things in Lagos can be very, very expensive. So the guy's budget is, I'm going to paraphrase here because I don't remember the exact number, and say that the guy's budget is 2 million naira. And bearing in mind, the girl has a gift of 10 million naira that her father gave her as a wedding gift. So then the guy is looking for a house, and the house the house needs to be within 2 million naira because that is what he can afford. Now, as they're looking for the house, the girl, on one of their viewings, they see a house that costs, I believe, I'm just going to paraphrase here because I don't remember the exact figures again. The house costs 2.7 million naira. Let's put it at that, 2.7 million naira. And the girl goes on and on talking about how she loves this house. It's so beautiful. This is the dream house that she wants to live in. And this is what she has always envisaged for herself, as being like a starter house for them in the beginning of their marriage, right? But obviously, as I said before, the guy's budget is 2 million naira. So he can't afford that 2.7 million naira house because he just can't afford it, you know? And so they end up not getting the house, and they end up settling for a house which was their second choice, which was about 1.8 million naira. Now, Tonisco, do you want to be a part of this conversation? Yes or no? Yes or no? Yes or no? Okay, he said yes. Anyways, now one day, and this is after they've already decided to settle for the second choice, which both of them would have preferred the first choice, including the girl and him. They would have preferred the first choice, but as God would have it, all they could have was the second choice, so they decided to settle for that. Now, one day, a few weeks later, the guy is scrolling. I don't know, maybe he needed to buy credits. I can't really remember, I'm paraphrasing here, but he needed to do something on his phone, and his own banking app wasn't working. So the girl volunteered her own and says, "Oh, here's mine, use my own. My own is working." So he takes his wife's phone and uses her own mobile banking. And as he opens the mobile banking app, what he sees there is well over 10 million naira in her bank account. Now, the girl says he doesn't confront her about it. He just buys his credit and he moves on, or he does the transfer or whatever and he moves on. But then a few days passes, and she said that her husband told her that he was thinking about it in his heart, and he just decided to speak to her about it because he felt very troubled about it. So he one day, from when he came back from work, he says, I'm gonna name this girl Zoe and say, "Zoe, what's happening? I saw in your banking app the other day 10 million naira. Where did that come from? Or I saw over 10 million naira in your bank account the other day, and I know that obviously you don't have that much money on a normal day. So how is that happening? Where did that come from?" And then Zoe then proceeds to say, "Oh, it's a wedding gift from my dad." And he's like, "Oh, cool. Okay, fine. So when did you get this wedding gift?" Now Zoe then proceeds to say, I got it a while ago." So then the husband is asking, "So when we were looking for houses and you saw that our first choice house that we liked, that was 2.7 million naira, you had the money, but you didn't want to add the money, or you didn't want to contribute, or what's happening?" That he feels like Zoe wasn't being supportive, because as a wife, and based on like the fact that a man and a woman shall cleave together and two become one and all that, he's not even saying that she should have like given him any of the money. But if she also liked that first choice house, why couldn't she just contribute 700k out of her 10 million naira to make the money complete, so that they could both live in a house that they both liked? And Zoe is now asking the podcast that did she do anything bad by not contributing to the house? I'm asking you guys now because I'm curious. Do you think she did anything bad by not contributing to the house? What do you guys think? That's what I want to know now, since I've told you guys the gist. I'm waiting for your comments. Do you think that Zoe should have contributed 700k so that they can both get the house that they both wanted? What do you think? Do you think that the man has no right to be upset, because after all he can only afford a 2 million naira house, so he should be content with what he had, and he should just pretend that he didn't know that Zoe could afford to loan him any money? What do you think? I'm really curious. So I'm going to go back to the comments now. So my mom is here. My mom, hello. My mom is my number one fan. She says, "This is a very interesting topic. I think to each his own. Some men are relatively more responsible than the others. What some men spend, the split on is ridiculous, but then the man is responsible. It's okay to split. Where I come from, men do a lot of things that are not fair with family resources. In such cases, disdain from the wife is certain." I agree. Imagine splitting your bills with your husband only to find out that your husband is then using his free money, because you decided to help him to split bills. He's now using the money that you have helped him to free up to now be womanizing and carrying women left, right, and center. That would be very, very, very annoying to you, because in your mind, sure, you would have just kept your money and used it to go on vacation, or used it to buy gold, or used it to do whatever you want to do. But then you decided to be an understanding wife and split bills with your husband, but he's using it to womanize. That's another angle. Sometimes men do all sorts of things with the money that you have helped them free up. So I guess again, that's why I think it was Tolu that said, or Ihuama, that at the end of the day, it just depends on like the family and what works for. There's not a one size fits all, to be honest. It's whatever works for you, do that. And if you find that splitting is not working for you, then don't. But one thing that I will say is, if you started splitting from the get-go, I don't know how you will now go back and say, I'm not splitting again. How does that work? Do you then say, oh no, at this junction, I'm so sorry. Let's say you've already started living a lifestyle, like in the example I gave, I'm earning £4,000. My husband is earning £4,000. We've already started living an £8,000 lifestyle. But now I've decided that I don't want to split bills again. Will I now tell my husband we have to downsize our lifestyle to your £4,000 because I'm not doing anymore? Is that how that is going to work? Or because I feel like once you start splitting bills, or once you start contributing like routinely as a woman, it becomes difficult to uncontribute. Even if you wanted to, it becomes very, very difficult. How do you then say it? Do you then say, oh, I'm not doing it again, no? Let's be living off of only your money? And how do you say it? Won't your husband feel like you are leaving him high and dry? I don't know. Anyways, caller, Zoe behaved really badly. Nothing wrong with offering to add up to get a better place. The fact that she held the gift to herself is sad. Starting a marriage like that doesn't seem right. So that's the same sentiment that I have. Because, and again, obviously, like, as I've said before, there's no right or wrong answer to this. And I don't want anybody to come out of this life thinking I've said what I've not said, you know. But the fundamental basis is to each his own. That's the fundamental basis. Every malam with his kettle. There's no one size fits all. There's no right or wrong answer. Whatever works for you and your partner is the right answer for you and your partner. Do you understand what I mean? If I do it this way, it doesn't mean that if you do it that way, it's going to work, and vice versa. But my sentiment with this story that I've shared is, I personally feel that if I like something and my husband cannot afford what I like, if I'm in the position to add some money to what my husband has so that we can then afford something that I like, then I would be happy to do that. And even if I were to get that gift, like Zoe did, get the 10 million naira gift like Zoe did, I will most probably tell my husband anyways, because maybe I just have a big mouth. I don't know. Maybe I just like talking. I don't know. But that's just the way my brain would have processed it. Like, tell your husband that your parents gave you 10 million naira. That's probably what I would have done. And I know that it's not everybody that would have done that, because again, as I said, maybe I just have a big mouth. I don't know. And maybe I just like talking. But that's the way I would have probably handled it. I would have said, oh, my parents gave me 10 million naira, and then I'll keep my 10 million naira, or I might share. I don't know. Depends on how I'm feeling. Do you understand what I mean? But in then the situation where I now like a house, and this is the exact house that I like, and I know that my husband cannot afford it, and I can add 700k to what my husband has, so that we can live in the house that I like, I would have probably done that. I would have added 700k. What are your own thoughts? Let me know. Okay, Ihoma says, once she decides to contribute towards the next rent, that is when the issue may start sprouting up. Well, since the house was also her taste, 700k isn't too much to contribute. I would willingly do so. That's why I said it becomes a slippery slope. Once you start contributing as a woman, how do you then say, I'm no longer doing? Let's say you change your mind midway and you say, how do you then tell your husband, I don't want to contribute again. I want my money to be my money. How does that kind of conversation start? Do you say, oh, I know that this our house that we're living in, I know I like it, but like I don't feel like contributing my money again? Because I'm on social media sometimes and I see the comments from people saying that they would never contribute to the bills of their house. And I see how people also eat women up for contributing. Like when a woman says, I remember there was a time that Kiki, I don't know if you guys know Kiki, the comedian. What is it? Okay. Are you hungry? No? Yes or no? No? Okay. I don't know if you guys remember Kiki, the comedian. She went on a podcast one time and mentioned that she contributes in her marriage, and people really ate her up in the comment section. Like, people were going on and on saying that that she should just say that she's the one that is feeding her husband and all that type of gist. And I found it very odd, because I personally don't see anything wrong with contributing, but again, to each his own. Exactly. Why keep the gift to yourself? It's giving selfish. I agree. Anyways. I have really, Tonisco, let me sing for you. I made a song for Tony. Tonisco, my handsome bobo. Tonisco, my handsome bobo, handsome bobo. Oh, why is Baba crying? Eh, well, no, they tear my hair. No, they tear my hair. Waiting be that. Waiting be that. Waiting be that. No, they tear my hair. 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 Tonisco, my handsome bobo. Tonisco, my handsome bobo. Handsome bobo. So, I'm just waiting to get some more comments so I can read them. Okay. Ihoma says, to be honest, some men tend to change once they know that their wives earn more than they do or have more money. It's best to allow the man pay what he has while you support in other areas. This is also very correct. I know some men that will not be the most excited men in the world if their wives should earn more than them. That's a fact. Some men tend to, and I think it boils back down to ego issues. Like, men will say, oh, my ego. I don't know. I sometimes I find that ego thing quite interesting, because your ego. Anyways, don't let me talk too much. But I find that ego thing quite interesting sometimes. And then because of that, the man starts becoming a weapon fashioned against his wife. And I see some of those things on like blogs, and the man is like, oh, my wife earns more than me. I want her to quit her job in Abuja to come and live with me in Akure. She's earning 700k, I'm earning 200k. I want her to quit her 700k job to come and be living with me in Akure, and she'll find a new job. What do you mean she'll find a new job? Are you an enemy of progress? What's that? Anyways. Zoe is a typical example of Gen Z people. They're usually entitled, and it takes more than love to make them see things from another perspective different from theirs. I agree. Congratulations, sister. Thank you very much. Wow, baby looks so much like daddy. Proudly come UI. Thank you very much. He actually does. What is it, Tony? I think he's tired. Anyways, guys, thank you so much for joining my live. I hope that this conversation it's been really interesting, and I hope you guys have like had some insights from the gisting that we have done so far. Thank you so much for joining my live video. Again, as I said, I really want to do these lives more frequently, so I'm going to try to do it every Saturday if I can. So I'll try and announce the next live for 6 p.m. next Saturday. It's going to last between 30 minutes to 1 hour. So if you could block out 30 minutes to 1 hour by 6 p.m. on Saturday, so that we can gist like this in the live video. Like, this one's been about 45 minutes, which isn't bad. If you could block out 45 minutes, maybe while you're making your dinner on Saturday, I'll just be talking in the background in the live, and you can contribute when you can. But thank you so much. This is my second, or I think maybe third live video that I've done on my channel. And I'm really, really excited to see how these live videos go moving forward. But thank you. Tonisco, do you want to say bye-bye? Do you guys have any questions or any contributions that we could talk about? Again, please don't forget, like this video if you have gotten any value from the video. Like the video, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. It was really lovely to catch up with you guys. I would really love to do this again. You guys are amazing. Have a nice evening. Bye. Tonisco, say bye-bye. 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 Bye.